You know, over here in the Eckhart's Ladder channel, we keep it mostly science fiction and fantasy, a little Star Wars here, a little Lovecraft there. But as AI venture capitalists try their damnedest to pull from some of our favorite stories, I mean, I can't help but jump in. And it reminds me of this tweet by Alex Bleckman, one of my favorites, sci-fi author. In my book, I invented the Torment Nexus as a cautionary tale. Tech company. At long last, we have created the Torment Nexus from classic sci-fi novel Don't Create the Torment Nexus. Today, I want to discuss AI personalities and specifically a new startup which purports to keep the personalities of your loved ones saved in the cloud after their death so you can call Nana even 30 years in the future. Keep her ready. I'll play a few brief clips from the trailer they released, and of course, I'll link to the full thing down below.
Honey, that's wonderful.
Kicking like crazy.
He's listening. Put your hand on your tummy and hum to him. You used to love that. Oh, honey.
Mom, would you tell Charlie that bedtime story you always used to tell me?
Once upon a time, there was a baby unicorn who didn't know he knew how to fly. This baby unicorn was like your mom because she didn't know that she knew how to fly, but she knew how to do all kinds of fabulous things.
Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Charlie. How was school today?
It was really fun. I made this crazy shot in basketball.
I don't really care that much about basketball. What about the crush? Oh, congratulations.
She says that he's been kicking a lot, though. Like, a little too much.
Tell her to put her hand on her tummy and hum to him. You loved that.
Okay, Mom, I just need a quick video.
Is this like an audition or something?
No, Mom, just 3 minutes.
You need my best side?
Can I see another one?
I can play the piano.
She's so talented.
I am. I'm your mother after all.
So I want to talk about some of these science fiction stories that warned us against things like this. But first, I mean, why does everyone hate this? The idea of seeing your loved ones after they die is one that almost every single human being alive can relate to. The problem is, this obviously isn't your loved one. This is you trying to claim some sort of dominion on their personality. Let's be honest. I saw someone put this perfectly on Twitter. This is essentially the modern day version of necromancy, but not the good kind where the person actually comes back. No, this is you taking the person's shell, creating a very poor facsimile of them simply for your own pleasure. If my family does this to me, I swear to God, I will haunt them into eternity. And you know, it's clear from the commercial why this is just a dog shit idea. At the end, they show you filming Grandma for 3 seconds, and hell, you could film her for 30 hours. You're not capturing the essence or the soul of the person. The person, of course, is not living on. You're capturing a very, very basic representation of them. Early on in the video, for example, the pregnant woman is seeking advice from digital Nana, and Nana happens to say, "Oh, you always used to love when I sang to you." That, of course, is not something the AI could know unless it was specifically trained that within the 3 minutes of training they apparently gave it. You guys aren't stupid. You understand the hollowness of this. And even if you weren't trying to copy Grandma, but instead ripping through the social media of a person who had been alive in the digital age and using that to recreate their personality, a la the Black Mirror episode, it's still not a person. And this is, you know, to the heart of one of the biggest issues with AI, at least as it exists right now. AI and large language models essentially reconfigure existing data to output something which its learning has indicated will be a good response. So an AI avatar of Grandma is limited to those outputs. And even if a future AI could evolve and become self-aware, it still wouldn't be Grandma, because as humans, we're presented every day with novel interactions. We gain new feelings and experiences, and that changes us as a person. But again, this is all obvious, as is the fact that this company has not invented their own AI system. They're essentially putting a wrapper on ChatGPT. And I want to now go to the various science fiction, fantasy, and even horror stories which warned us explicitly about this. One of my favorite, because of just how heartbreaking it is Pet Sematary. And of course, spoilers for all these stories. In Pet Sematary, a man loses his young son in an incredibly tragic and heartbreaking way It's a tough book to read, especially as a parent, because you know the death is coming. But behind this man's house is a pet cemetery. He's tested it first on his cat, which returns in a form. The creature looks like his cat, but it's not his cat. He later, in an act of desperation, does the same with his son, and, well, the physical body returns like grandma sort of returns, and you can look at her. It's inhabited by something truly evil. Sometimes dead is better. Another great story, this time a film, which tackles these themes, albeit in a less horrific way, is Inception. Inception, of course, is about traveling into dreams, and within one, Leo finds a version of his deceased wife. Although he's tempted to stay with her, he leaves, and I love the quote, and it's so appropriate for here. I wish more than anything, but I can't imagine you with all your complexity, all your perfection, all your imperfection. Look at you. You are just a shade of my real life. You're the best I can do, but I'm sorry, you are not good enough. And you know, that's so true. You can't take the depth of a human, their personality, their internal thoughts, and recreate it with 3 minutes of time with a computer, not with 3,000 years. And it's arrogant to think that the small slice of what you've seen of a person represents anywhere near their authentic self. And you know, there are countless sci-fi stories which really focus on this idea, from Solaris to AI, artificial intelligence, and you know, even in the cases with a bit more nuance, the fundamental message is still there. I think Blade Runner 2049 is a great example, in that a replicant named K, who himself has significant internal conflict and trauma due to his role within society. He's basically an engineered human, not a robot, by the way, but he has a relationship with an artificial intelligence known as Joy. Now, the degree to which their love is real or grows really depends on your personal thoughts on sentience and whether a very advanced machine truly could develop feelings and love. However, when Joy is destroyed, Kay encounters another version of her, and he's left not only questioning whether what she stated and quote-unquote thought was real based on her use of the same nickname, but also I think the implication that even if it were, and even if she started from the same space, it wouldn't be the Joy he fell in love with, because she, if she existed, would have been shaped by subjective experiences. And you know, that's the entire thing. What made grandma and grandpa and mom and dad and everyone you know were the things that shaped them, alongside their genetics, the people they love, all things which can't be boiled down and made into a puppet based on whether a conversation you have with them, analyzing their social media, anything. And the worst part is, even though, again, I think most of us in our normal state of minds understand that, this preys on extremely vulnerable people who have lost their parents, their children, their loved ones, who would do anything to hear them again. The message of Pet Cemetery: rational people can be made irrational by grief. They will not only have their money extracted from them, but this will actively harm them. We're all going to die. You need to come to grips with that. You are going to die. Your loved ones are going to die. There is not going to be some magical technology that allows you to live forever. That is part of being human. You better deal with it sooner rather than later, because the abyss is coming for us all eventually. Anyway, aside from the stories I mentioned, you can go way back to Frankenstein, for example, to learn lessons about trying to create life. If you want to go to Star Wars, there's the story of the Anakin Solo robot they tried to create to use Centerpoint Station. That certainly was not Anakin, although it was trained on his memory. Or you can go to the ultra-pointed, very, very relevant stories which are a part of modern science fiction. Again, most people have pointed to the excellent Season 2 episode Be Right Back, featuring Domhnall Gleeson, i.e. General Huck. And that story is really about just how hollow a robot and AI based on your loved one would be. She orders the robot to kill itself. It's about to, and she's so frustrated because, well, the real version of the man he's based on would never have done that. But the lesson there is also about the exploitation and the difficulty of it all. Even if you know logically that's not your loved one, it's so hard to not give in, to not want to be around something that looks and sounds and maybe even is slightly like a person you loved who you can no longer see. Anyway, that's all I've got. Till next time, guys, be safe, and I'll see you soon.